Today, we are looking at Stego's Dragons, and this is going to be the newest version and the final version of Stego's Dragons. But before we start, I want to say that we're really close to 1,000, and at 1,000 we're going to be opening up a How to Train Your Dragon server for all of you to play with me and with other viewers. As well, go ahead and subscribe. About 70% of y'all are not subscribed. If y'all were to, we'd get there in a jiffy. But why don't we start? Now, I say it's the final version because they're merging with Archipelago editions, so there's no more Stego's Dragons by itself. Now it is all AA. As well, they are adding 3 new dragons to AA, being Boulder, Sharp, and Tidal class, which is freaking sick. Alright, but we have the Devilish Dervish, and it looks pretty sick. And according to the wiki, the Devilish Dervish has a long neck, stubby arms, mostly black in color with yellow tips on its wings, golden pair of horns on its head, as well as spikes on its chin, back, and tail. It is very similar in shape and size to the Raincutter, Prickleboggle, and Hobblegrunt. Now, I can confirm that that is pretty close. Except we have the Fireworm, which is a terrible terror. And it says, common fireworms are only about a few inches in length. They have hexagonal brownish orange scales that glow a bright golden color when lit up. You can kind of see the scales a little bit. They also have 5 pairs of legs. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not seeing the 5th one. For a total of 10 legs and white eyes that glow in the dark. They strongly resemble lizards with their wide heads, long bodies. When they ignite, they glow orange and sometimes even light their bodies on fire. Well, sure looks like it. Then we have the Fireworm Queen, which is a monstrous nightmare. It says, Fireworm Queens look similar in appearance to the average fireworm, but have some differences that make them stand out from the rest. For instance, while the common fireworm can fit in the palm of a hand, the queen is many times bigger. I do think so. Her size is comparable to that of a bone napper. That also, I feel like that's true again. She also possesses several horns located at the back of her nape and the front of her snout that resembles a crown. And now that I look at it for the first time, it really does. Then we have the Flame Whipper. They are known to be extremely territorial and aggressive in nature. The Flame Whipper can detach its poison-filled tail to lure and paralyze any incoming threats. Flame Whippers come in many different color combinations with small spikes that run along their back and tails, as well as the side of their tails. Do you see that? As well, the Flame Whipper is a medium-sized Stoker class dragon from School of Dragons. Definitely looks medium-sized. A little bit smaller than a Night Fury, I'd say. Bulkier head, but smaller body. Then we have the Hobblegrunt. The Hobblegrunt is a large Stoker class dragon, more sensitive than most other Stoker class dragons. It changes color depending on its mood. Yellow means happy, purple means curious, and red means dangerous. The Hobblegrunt will take on anything its opponent dishes out in combat, and then will dish it right back. Also said to be able to protect anything a second before they happen. I don't have anything based off appearance off that, but said it's very similar to the Devilish Dervish over there, and it is actually very similar. Then we have the Night Terror, which is a terrible terror. The Night Terror is a small Stoker class dragon. It's tons of little ones that become a big one. While these nocturnal, bat-like dragons may not seem menacing on their own, Night Terrors are a formidable force to be reckoned with when united. Night Terrors are incredibly fast and strong flyers, and their ability to take the form of a larger dragon makes them a great threat to potential predators. Each individual Night Terror is black in color except for the alpha. When they group together, especially at night, they appear to be all black in color, and they form the shape of any large dragon. Unfortunately, they don't do that in the game because it is a terrible terror, which kind of stinks. I would want to see Smidvarg guiding all the night terrors around. It'd be pretty awesome. Then we have the Prickleboggle, which is a mystery / sharp class dragon. Like a Natter is a sharpen tracker. They have 2 pairs of twisted horns, which sometimes appear to tangle together, like this. They also have a long fin that runs down their back, and a large tail fin that resembles the one on their back. Let's do that. Here we kind of can. While these dragons are generally extremely small, no bigger than the size of a fireworm, giant ones larger than the size of a deadly Natter have been discovered, like this one here. Their icy fire can contain the Prickleboggle's healing properties or not. Depending on the purpose of its blast to heal or damage, the ice blast can be either purple or blue in color depending on the individual. And that's something I did not know. I don't know too much about the Prickleboggle or the other school of dragons, but that is kind of cool to know that they heal other dragons possibly, or themselves. Next we have the Shockjaw, which is a Skrill. Instead of fire, this tidal class swimmer emits bioelectricity from a gentle jolt to a lethal bolt. Makes sense why it's a Skrill. Can be quite the shock. The bolts it emits can be strong enough to take down an entire ship and its crew. Which I think that's freaking sick, dude. You able to take down a whole ship and its crew off one lightning strike. The Shockjaw's electrical stream attack makes the power of lightning feel up close and personal. Based off what we read before, that's pretty true. The Shockjaw boasts a ridge of membrane joined spines. I believe that's what this would be here. Like these dark parts are the spine and then the lighter parts are the webbing. Much like a fish, the wings are both intended for flight as well as swimming. The Shockjaw boasts a prominent lower jaw and small teeth in comparison to other tidal class dragons. Yep. This dragon also features a long tail, an almost fish-like body with small legs, and bioluminescent tendrils on its lower jaw. Awesome. Now, we have the Songwing, and they did update the Songwing in one of the newer Stego Dragons updates, and it is a Night Fury. The Songwing is a relatively large dragon that comes in a variety of colors. Its head greatly resembles that of a fireworm. To me, it's more like a hobgobbler instead. Their body is small and stocky, also like a hobgobbler, with 2 small hind legs. Its wings have a pattern similar to that of a death song, and I believe they should, but it does not pop up on this model, even though I summoned a base Songwing. Consisting of strips centered around their body and several white spots along the outer edge. Their overall appearance is very similar to that of a Timberjack and Death Song. Definitely with these giant wings, I think that's very true. But with a more butterfly-like stature. Also true. The Songwing being a concept art is widely unknown, but it's still a large strike class dragon. I don't know if I'd say large, maybe like medium size strike class dragon. And I don't know why it'd be strike. If it's widely unknown, I feel like it'd fit better in the mystery class, no? Then we have the Thunderbottom, which is a Gronkle. The Thunderbottom is a hybrid between a Thunderdrum and a Gronkle, which we can definitely see in its design. Thunderbottoms are as heavy and bulky as their Gronkle parent, but built even wider thanks to their Thunderdrum heritage. That is very true. They're wide and dense. They're very sociable as long as you mean them no harm. The irony of their playful roughhousing with friends, frequently crushing trees, rocks, and buildings is lost to them, which I feel is their Thunderdrum aspect. Although having Thunderdrum heritage, the Thunderbottom can only use its Fireball and Magma Blast by consuming rocks, which I think is kind of sad that we can't really see maybe like a dual ability. A dual ability would be sick. But then we have the Zippleback. I'm sure all of you know what the Zippleback is. I didn't bring any lore to the table about the Zippleback. Besides, it's a mystery / fear class dragon, two-headed, and bring chaos. But this is a fart and smella variant that comes from Stego's dragons, which I love the green and purple it adds. It's awesome. And then we have Stego in Muddy, which is a monstrous nightmare. And this is your Dragon Rider companion, which I think is really cool. Stego made this amazing mod as well as some other helpers for variants and models. But this is pretty sick having Stego in the game like this. Blue and yellow Hobblegrunt, Stego's green and brown. I don't know. That's pretty awesome. But anyways, thank y'all for watching. I can't wait for Stego's Dragons to be fully compatible with the Archipelago Editions being its own mod together. And I can't wait for the new Archipelago Editions, Dragons Editions, that Archipelago Editions is adding in their newest edition of Archipelago Editions before New Berkston comes out, which hopefully comes out soon, because that is what I'm hoping to have the server based around is New Berkston. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.